Hey everyone, welcome back to the Halo Wars 2 Leader Guide series. This is a series to hopefully get you better at Halo Wars 2. As usual, this series is aimed towards beginners and those with less experience in the game. So if you're familiar with Halo Wars 2, this may not be the best video for you. But there is a playlist of all of the leaders done in this series, as well as a dedicated channel on our Discord server to find all of this stuff pretty easily. Link to the Discord server is down below. For this video, we're going to be testing and talking about Yap Yap. Yap Yap's one of my most favorite leaders. He is one of the last leaders to be added into the game. He was one of the late additions into Halo Wars 2. And I feel like Yap Yap's strengths are one of those, kind of you would say, death by 1,000 cuts. Yap Yap has a lot of powers that are annoying. He has a lot of things that can buff other units, and the units work really well together. I also think his hero units are some of the best in the game, not because of their attack, but rather their Y ability. The healing of Yap Yap's grunt mechs are so incredible, and the fact that you get 3 of them is insane. You can use it to heal a base, a scarab, your units, of course. I mean, anything in between that you can, anything that you can really think of that needs to be healed. Yap Yap's grunt mechs can do it, and they do it very fast. So let's start off with our build here. As soon as you load in here to the game, I'm going to go ahead and go forward with 2 harvesters, and then I'm going to get 1 power extractor. Yap Yap gets 5 cannon fodder instead of the normal 3 grunts that a normal banished leader does. And keep in mind that Yap Yap's cannon fodder is free. They're quite a terrible unit, but you know, it kind of fits the name. They're cannon fodder. They're weak, but they're free, and they're used to help with your annoyances. So I like to send these guys pretty much everywhere when we start off. Supplies, power, maybe over to go get an expo. We could go get some more supplies, maybe scout, see what our opponent's doing. But, you know, if you want to keep the annoyances going early on, be sure you, like, queue up, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 of these guys. Make sure you have your harvester upgraded. This is kind of standard for the kind of builds that I like to do. I know it varies between person to person. And there's some sorts of ways that you can view what you're going to do starting out with Yap Yap. One thing I love to do is annoy my opponent with both the grunt riders and the heavy grunts. These are both great infantry that you can get early on in the game. So once I have a harvester, an extractor, and then, you know, start upgrading these, I will build actually 2 raid camps here. All the meanwhile, I'll pump out cannon fodder. I may sprinkle in some choppers as well. And the point of this is going to be kind of a rush. Now, the time clock you're going to see here in this video may not be relevant because I'm going a little bit slower to show you, you know, kind of the ropes, if you want to say. What you could do also, if you really wanted to be a little bit paranoid, is you could, instead of building your second raid camp, you could put a, like say, a power extractor here, and on this mini, you can put your second raid camp, because I forbid you to put a power extractor on a mini. Now, the heavy grunts consume no power, and that's awesome. Heavy grunts are really great. They're tougher grunts, as it says. They're flexible ground troops, and they're quick capture unit. We'll upgrade one of our power extractors. You can get the parties over ability. This Y ability kind of stuns vehicles and aircraft, and this will be great for kind of stunning enemy choppers or jackrabbits that they may have. And this also surprisingly works really well to stop some vulture spamming as well. We can't forget about our leader points. And the most obvious pick for your first leader point is Surprise Party. If you're unfamiliar with this, this is a single mine that you drop, and when it goes off, it spawns veteran cannon fodder squads. However, you really should get the upgrade for this with your second point and get Surprise Party too. This adds a second mine, and I believe it adds, it has them at Vet 3. I'm not sure if it does it at your first point. if it's Vet 3, but it definitely is Vet 3 on your second. So I'm just going to kind of flip-flop between making heavy grunts here. I should have built a raid camp, but over there I should have been making grunt riders. Just keep in mind they're 75 pop. With this much cannon fodder, you can just really swarm, say, the points. So I'll send this dude to take this node. Now, cannon fodder are pretty weak, but if you get them fully upgraded, they're actually not horrible. And we've done a Mythbusters test, and cannon fodder can really do some damage against a condor, believe it or not. So this dude's kind of sent some infantry over here that we're gonna annihilate. And now we can head over and swarm things. Now you can of course take some cannon fodder and go and see, like, maybe they didn't take this stack of power crates, or maybe they didn't take this many way up here. Always take some cannon fodder and have them go out there because they're free, and, you know, again, it doesn't matter if you lose them or not. I would say once you get close to your pop cap, maybe hold off on the grunt riders this way, and then cancel your cannon fodder. That way, as soon as you get 1,000 power, you can start going up to second tech. And then I would take a cannon fodder and then, like, say, hold position on an expo. I didn't end up making any choppers like I said I was supposed to, so that's probably on me. Oh, look at this. This is perfect. So I'll drop some mines here. And when these mines go off, they're actually really powerful. You can just see, like, that ODST squad just vanished. Now when you get the Vet 3 cannon fodder, it looks like I have 4 of them, which makes sense, 2 per mine. They're temporary. And don't underestimate the power of Vet 3 cannon fodder. You're going to lose them anyway. They're on a timer. So if you want to see, you don't have an army to attack or something, and one of your mines goes off, be sure to select your Vet 3 cannon fodder and go send them at your opponent's base. Worst case scenario, you're going to see what their base contains. Best case scenario, you may get a couple of low health units. Now we're at their second tech here. I'm going to expo. And we're going to want a shield generator. And I'm probably going to do a war council and a foundry. Once you head off and you're attacking, this sort of attack is only really going to work once in the early stages of the game, so you're not going to need both raid camps. So I would sack one once you get into Tech 2. Replace it with a harvester. So looks like that dude is over here. Now I could end the match right here, but I'm not going to, of course, for the sake of this video. For our next point, you have a choice here. Glassing Beam or Shade Drop. You could technically maybe make an argument for Please Don't Shoot Me. I would say this is one of the powers you should get when you're done with your wheel, kind of double back and get Please Don't Shoot Me. I'm a big fan of the Shade Drop. And the reason why I like the Shade Drop is because, now I forget if they still stun. They used to stun when you would drop, which made it such a great power. I think they removed that in the latest balance update. But having 4 turrets just gives 4 more targets for your opponent. And if they're shooting the shade turrets, they're not going to be shooting at your squad. And the shade turret works in so many great ways. It can be used as if you're running and your opponent's chasing you, you can just drop your shade turrets in the way. I do that from time to time. Now, as soon as you get the resources, I would say go ahead and get your 3 grunt goblins. And you're going to want to get the grunt hustle ability. And this is what I was talking about at the beginning of the video of what makes them so good. You have the Y ability here that's going to heal everything. And I mean everything. We'll expand our base here. A couple of harvesters, maybe an apex so we can make some engineers. And we're going to upgrade this base and put maybe another power extractor on it. Some other things to consider, Yap Yap has his strength in infantry, so you're going to want to make sure that you keep a raid camp on hand. Now, when you get the party's over upgrade, I want to say, well, we can find out here in a second, but I think heavy grunts turn into green against air, and they are spectacular against air units. So always be sure that you remember that heavy grunts are really great. Also, I wouldn't sleep on fully upgrading cannon fodder. When you get them to be fully upgraded, it is a little bit of expensive. This one is 400 for the first upgrade, and I want to say the second one is like 700 or 800 power. So I would do that if you have a lot of extra power laying around. Maybe once you get, say, your third power extractor, have some more nodes, that sort of a thing. So for our next point here, you have, I'd say you have 3 good options. The best one is Grunts from above. So this is a deployment of heavy grunts, grunt riders, and the methane wagon. What's kind of cool is you don't necessarily need to get the methane wagon power to get methane wagons. You can get grunts from above, which is pretty awesome. Grunt Dome is great too. This is awesome to drop on your own army or even your allies. Will shield you from some damage. And you could even go for the glassing beam here, but I think grunts from above is definitely the best. There is an upgrade for this and improves the veterancy and number of the units. However, I think for your next point is going to be the Methane Party. So this is, the animation is kind of similar to Forge's Scatter Bomb. However, this is going to drop methane, and it says here, this is a debuff while increasing the grunt combat effectiveness. So this kind of goes in part with Yap Yap's strength being ground units and infantry. So maybe now after this, you may want to get the methane wagon and start making some methane wagons. They are great support units. Oh, it's 600. Okay, so the refer a friend is 600. It is to fully upgrade your cannon fodder. They're going to passively heal themselves. And that doesn't sound all that awesome, but it's more annoying than you think. So yeah, you can see here the heavy grunts is now green against air with the EMP upgrade. There's also one more upgrade, the My Plus One. It adds another heavy grunt to the squad. I think that's actually a pretty good upgrade here. Don't forget to get your infantry upgrades. It's going to work out great for both your, I want to say it even works for cannon fodder. And then of course your heavy grunts. Elite Rangers, unfortunately, they don't have an upgrade for any banished leader. And then Hunters. Don't forget about Hunters as well. Now, if you're worried about like a Banshee spam or air spam, heavy grunts are going to work out really good. If you are in a panic, cannon fodder can help slow them down and do a little bit of damage to air. Of course, Reavers is your best bet to counter air. I would just not say that you should main air. Have air be your main focus when you're playing as Yap Yap. You're going to want to stick to your ground game. If at all possible, once you get to Tech 3, Wraiths are still really, really good. So maybe sprinkle in Wraiths along with your infantry here. Don't forget about Engineers to heal your army. So having the Engineers shield along with, say, Methane Wagons and the Y ability of Grunt Goblins, that's a really dangerous combination. So don't underestimate the power of Yap Yap. His annoyances really stack up. And I would say with outside of the Grunt Goblins being really OP, I don't really foresee anything being like extraordinarily broken. However, combining all of these things makes Yap Yap a really strong leader. And I love to play as him. He's a lot of fun. Just be sure you're investing your resources in the right things. So I would say your Grunt Goblins, infantry, making sure that you can counter if your opponent goes vehicles, because that's going to do a lot of damage to your infantry. You want to make sure you either have Hunters or a few Banshees on hand maybe to counter that. I forbid you to go mass air because I hate it when people do that, and that's also not Yap Yap's strength. You know, and if you want, don't be afraid to get the methane wagon power here and invest in some methane wagons. That's going to work out great. I'm going to draw my grunts from above, and then I'll do this too. You're going to see the blue arrow on top of all of this methane. So now they're debuffed and I'm buffed. This is also a Vet 1 methane wagon. Now you can't get the upgrade for the methane wagon if you don't have the methane wagon power here. If you want to skip out on methane wagons, if that's not something you want to get into, and you want some advice for some more powers, once your wheel looks something like this, I would say maybe your Grunt Dome. Start going to the glassing beam. Yap Yap gets the meme beam, the level 3 beam. Please don't shoot me. Maybe if you're losing and you need some extra time is a good power. Upgrading the shade drop to have 6 turrets is a really good idea too. And then get back out there. May not be as great as, say, combat salvage. Is that the one with the vehicles? I'm forgetting what it's called now. It escapes me. But you know what I'm talking about. But this isn't as cost effective, say, as that power. But it is there for you. I hope that this helps you out being better with Yap Yap. He's fantastic. If you're thinking about buying him, I would say yes. I think he's great. Look at this dude. He didn't upgrade anything. It was not nice. That's all. I'm gonna just get in here. He has 1 turret. I don't know why I did that. That's okay. Well, I hope this video helped you be a little bit better playing as Yap Yap. Let me know your thoughts on playing Yap Yap in the comments down below. Love to know your thoughts. Again, there's a really organized page for all of the guides in this series on our Discord server. So join that. Link to that's in the description so you can easily find all of the guides. But if Discord's not your thing, there is a playlist for all of the guides in this series. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you, James,